So good morning, Seneca, and thank you again for being willing to do this. Welcome to all the students. I appreciate you tuning in, and if you're watching the recording, thank you for doing this.
Good morning.
Today
Thanks
we
for having
have,
me.
yeah, thank you. I'm glad this worked out. We tried this earlier in the semester and
Yeah,
just
we
didn't
did.
work out yet, so
Yeah,
I'm glad this worked.
it definitely
Um,
does.
so I'm gonna, tell a little about you. From
Sure.
what I know, I found we actually met because you were a customer of mine back at Hy-Vee gas station.
Right. Yep.
I was the night manager at the gas station, and you came in a couple times most of my shifts to
Yeah.
microwave your meals, your meal preps, and 5 gallons of water.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'm with
I
you.
I met you back then, and one of the stories that stuck out to me that started to pique my interest is one Thanksgiving that I worked there. You came in, and I knew you ate really healthy. I knew you meal prepped, and a lot of people that meal prep get to have a cheat meal. And so I started asking, Thanksgiving's coming up. Are you gonna have a cheat meal? Are you gonna? And you're like, well, maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Right.
So Thanksgiving came and went, and the next week you came back in the gas station, and I'm like, so did you have a cheat meal? And you're like, well, I had a bite of stuffing, and then I went back to my meals, and
That was it.
that really triggered me. It's like, man, this man's serious. And so I started looking into your story because, you started telling me more about your journey and your stories and about how AUIC was going to do a news article on you and Lifetime Fitness was doing a news article on you. So I started learning about your journey, started following you on Instagram and learning more about you and learned
Yeah.
how much of an inspiration you can be, to people like myself that kind of do fitness once in a while and just anybody in general. You want to tell a little bit about your background and how you ended up in Minneapolis?
Yeah. Yeah. So I was born in Chicago, Chicago, Illinois. Um, Single mother, me and my brother, and I moved to Minnesota when I was 12. And what the reason we moved to Minnesota was because um, we were very uh, poor in Chicago, and around my 11th birthday, um, I had gotten. We were in a very rough neighborhood we grew up in, and I had gotten jumped on by gang members and kidnapped and stuff like that, and beat up pretty bad. And at that time, my mom was like, "You know what? It's very unsafe, the area that we lived in." She was like, "I'm just gonna pack up what we have, and we're just gonna go." So we packed up what we had, and we came to Minnesota. When we came to Minnesota, we were homeless. We stayed at a shelter downtown in downtown Minneapolis for about 6 to 8 months, um, till we figured out uh, get our living situation together, and then we wind up moving to Brooklyn Park. Um, and through that whole journey, I've after that, after I got jumped on and stuff like that, I started to battle with depression a little bit. Um, then we moved to Minnesota. I was homeless, battled with depression a little bit more. And when I was about, when I moved to Minnesota, I became really close with a friend of mine. Now, mind you, as a kid, I moved around a lot, so I never really had a core group of friends that I kind of grew up with. I probably was the new kid in school. Like every 3 to 4 months, I was moving around. Um, but when we got to Minnesota, we actually got stable, and I became friends with my best friend, who became my best friend. His name was Lance, and me and him was really really close. And when we were like 18, 19, he wind up getting killed. He wind up um, someone wind up killing him, and after that, I hit depression really really hard, and I shut down, and I didn't communicate with people, and I just kind of stayed to myself, and I ate and I ate, and I actually ballooned up to 420 pounds. So when I went up to 420 pounds, and I stayed in that state for about 3 or 4 years after my best friend passed away. And it wasn't up until I had my son. When I had my son, when I was 25, I decided that it was time for me to do something about it. It was time for me to change my life. Um, so I started on the whole journey of trying to save my life, and not only that, but trying to better my life. And I didn't want my son to see me going through the depression and being that, overweight and unhealthy. I didn't want him to pick up on those bad habits.
One of the things I like on a lot of your posts, one of your key things that I picked up you like to say a lot, and this ties back to your son, you talk about finding your why.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that was one of the huge things. Is this is one of the starting points
Mhm.
of when you transform your life, is when
Yes.
you found that why.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. My son was my why. When I was going through a lot of the things that I was going through, I didn't really um, know where to turn or why I should fight or why I should put my all into something. I was kind of lost at the time. But when I had my son, that was my why. That was my reason to take control of my life, to actually try to get healthy and be better and be a better individual. So finding your why is a big part of it. You have to figure out why you want something or why you want to do something. And the best thing to do is figure out a reason why that's not about you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For me, it was finding my why for I wanted my son to um, have a happy dad, a healthy dad. I wanted to instill these healthy traits on him. I wanted him to see me uh, not like how I was, but I wanted him to see me healthy and happy. So yeah, finding your why is definitely your reason.
So what type of success have you found since you found that why?
Well, since I found that why, I wound up losing 200 pounds.
And how
Uh,
did you do that? That's quite the story.
yeah. Well, I started with just walking, right? I remember I was sitting on the couch. I was at my heaviest. I was 420 pounds, and I was at my heaviest, and I was sitting on the couch. Um, and I just said, you know what? I'm tired. I don't want to be unhealthy. I don't want to be unhappy anymore. I just made a decision. Like I said, my son was my reason why, and I would look at him and I would say, I got to do this. So I got up and I walked for about 8 miles. And I walked from one city to the next. I walked for about 8 miles. And that was the beginning of it. And I just started walking. I didn't join a gym right away. I just started drinking lots of water, trying to eat a little less, control my eating a little bit less, and started walking. And doing that, I lost 30 pounds. No, I'm sorry, 50 pounds in 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah. And then after that, I wind up saying, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and join the gym. Um, Felt a little bit more confident now. And I was like, I'm going to join the gym now. So I joined Lifetime Fitness. And 6 months after that, I lost another 150 pounds. So in 9 months, I lost a total of 200 pounds.
That
And
is incredible.
yeah,
Through
I
hard
just
work
started,
and dedication.
that was it. And I found my why and I really wanted it. And I realized that in order to get there, I had to put in the action, right? Wanting it is not really good enough. Uh, that's good that you want it, but it has to be followed with action. So I had to apply, and yeah, 9 months later, I lost 200 pounds. So
That is
and,
incredible.
yeah,
I'm still amazed. I've looked back over the news article a couple times from KUIC. Each day for this class, I actually put out daily announcements, and so I've been highlighting that we're going to have this interview. So from
yeah,
your website, you have your before and after photos. So I've had your photos on there, and it's quite the journey you've been on. Through
yeah.
hard work and dedication and finding that why, you found
Mm,
success that way.
yeah, yeah. That's definitely. I I after I lost all the weight, I really just made it a part of my life. It became a lifestyle. Um, it wasn't for me. It wasn't at that point just a goal. Like, okay, I just want to lose this amount of weight, or I just want to do this. I embodied it. I just created a whole lifestyle out of it. So now it's just a way of living now. So you still see I'm sure you still see my meal preps I do on Instagram.
Yep.
Yeah. So even, I do my meal prepping and we can't, of course, go to the gyms right now, but I'll work out in my garage.
You're doing
Every morning.
pull-ups in
I'm,
your garage rafter. I've seen that video.
yeah, I'm doing pull-ups in my garage. I'll go out and go for a run, come right back in and just work out more in my garage and things like that. So, and I just I just figured out I can't make any excuses. Uh, if there's a will, there's a way. You just gotta get after it.
That
So
reminds me of another saying you've had many times about we don't quit when you're tired, you quit when the work is
quit when you're
done.
done. You quit when you're done. You
Yep.
quit when you're done. Yeah, that's it. And I tell my son that same thing. You can't quit when you're tired. You have to quit when you're done. When you get it done, then you can quit. But you don't quit when you're tired. You quit when you're done. That's a good saying. That's a saying I love too.
It's a great one. That's just like about a year ago now, you were having your son run up that hill. Was it for $100, 100 times up the hill for $100?
Well, actually, he wanted a, a a gift card. I believe it was like for Fortnite or something like that. He wanted a gift card for like $50 gift card. And yeah, I had that conversation with him. I said, well, okay, well, if you want that $50 gift card, we need to work out. And so the deal was, if he can touch, I placed a flag at the top of the hill, and I had him start at the bottom. I said, if you can touch that flag 100 times, I'll give you that. I'll get you that $50 gift card. And I also told him that it's not about how fast you do it. It's just about not quitting. You don't quit when you're tired. You quit when you're done. So I said, it doesn't matter how long it take you. All I ask is that you just believe in yourself enough to get it done. So he got to about 60 or 70, and he was looking like, oh, this is tough. But I just kept encouraging him, and yeah, he got up there 100 times, man, and he touched the top of that flag 100 times. And I just wanted him to understand that it can be tough. It's gonna be rough, but you just don't quit. You just
And
keep going. You go and you
he
go and you
succeeded.
go. And he succeeded.
He
He touched it a
succeeded.
hundred times, and then after, yeah, when he got to the 100th time, he grabbed the flag out the ground and he waved it in the air. He felt accomplished. He felt so good. So it was a teaching moment for me. So I could have just gave him the 50, but I was like, let's use this as a teaching moment. I want you to understand that uh, things aren't always going to be easy, and it's not always going to be given to you. You're going to have to work for it. And it feels so much better when you work hard for it and you accomplish it. Because you really realize, like, I put in the work to get this. It wasn't just given to me. I actually put in that work to get it. Now I deserve it. I feel like I deserve it because I worked hard for it.
That was awesome. It was fun to watch that. I followed that journey, and it was even cool to see because your mom that came out to cheer him on too, right?
My mom. Yeah, yeah. My mom came out to cheer him on. She seen that. She called and said where were we, and I told her what was going on, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna come out there. And she came out there, and she was at the bottom of the hill, and she was cheering him on. And so every time he came to the bottom, she gave him a high five, and he'd go back up there, and he'd come back down, and she'd give him a high five, and she was kind of like his big cheerleader. So it
That's
was so cool.
awesome. He found
Yeah,
success through his hard work and support. He was able to accomplish it. So,
yeah,
um,
yeah, definitely.
but since you've gone on this health journey, it's also led you to more
Hmm.
success. How about your company?
Yeah. So I started up my company after I lost all the weight, and I started up my company to just kind of encourage and help other people out. I have a supplement company, but it's more of a lifestyle brand. It's to encourage and help other people out. Um, so we started it back in 2017. I launched 2007 January of 2017. We launched and we were in GNC. We were on Amazon, and it all was just to help other people out. Like I said, it's a lifestyle brand. If you can't see it,
I
it's
mean,
synergy
if you
here,
see
but
my
it's
screen,
it's more of a lifestyle brand.
I have mine on too.
There you go. Yeah, so it's a lifestyle brand. It's still encouraging, and to get people to believe in themselves. So that's what it was. And it's been, like I said, started 2017, and we're still going to the state, and um, things are looking good. It's kind of uh, slow right now because of everything that's going on, but it's overall it's doing pretty good. I just wanted to, after I found success, I just wanted to encourage other people. I know how it can be. Uh, I know how it could be when you feel like it's not going good, or it's tough, or it's rough, and sometimes you just need that extra little bit of encouragement. You know what I'm saying? So it goes a long way. Like if you see a person that's kind of not themselves, or they seem like they're out of it because they may have something going on, just little words of encouragement goes a long way. You can make a person's day just by saying something nice to encourage that person. So it's really to just encourage other people to, be kind and be better. And that's a lot of our motto we go by
Yeah.
is to be better.
And I know it works. Because that one day I even messaged you about it. I was at the gym and my goal that day was to run 3 miles, and I hate cardio. And I got to about a mile and a half, and it's just like, man, I just want to be done. I'm like, another mile and a half, and I thought of, like I mentioned earlier, you quit when the work is done, not when you're tired. And I kept telling myself that, and I made the 3 miles. But so what you're doing is working. You're inspiring others, to be better.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and that's the ultimate goal. Is to inspire others to be better. To be of service to other people is huge, and I'm big on just trying to be of service. So if I can use my life and what I've been through in my life to encourage or inspire somebody else, and to get them to believe in themselves, because where I come from with very humble beginnings, very rough start. I had a very rough start, but I didn't let it determine my outcome. That's where I started, but that's not where I have to finish. You know, and that's with anybody. You can start wherever you are, but that's just the starting point. That's not where we stay. As long as you're willing to do the work, you can do or become whatever you want to become just by doing the work.
So I'm going to pause here really quick. We do have a few students in here. I'm going to see if anybody wants to type in any questions they've had so far. See if there's anything, see if anybody has questions. I'm just going to give a moment to see if anyone has a few questions. Otherwise, I'll keep asking.
All right.
I have a question, if that's okay.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is Jenny, for those who don't have their video on. Seneca, I was wondering, so like right now with how things are going for all of our students, what sorts of advice do you have for our seniors who may not get to finish everything that they've expected is kind of up in the air, and so they're stuck at home, or they may feel stuck at home even though we know they're safe at home? What sorts of advice do you have to help them keep persevering and to look to the future and use this as a time to overcome a lot of challenges?
Sure. So my advice would be to right now just focus on what you can control, and that's yourself, and try not to get so caught up on what we cannot control. In life, for me, I realized that when I try to control things that I can't, it tends to stress you out, or it tends to upset you. But if you focus more on what you can control, which is like bettering yourself, right? Staying on track, and keeping an optimistic attitude, and knowing that things will get better, and we will get through this. I think that you everything will be all right. We have to stay positive in this time, and be around your loved ones, and look at the things that we do have, right? Like we have each other, we have our health, and we have our loved ones. So just kind of understand that it's not ideal right now what we're going through, but we will get through it, and it will get better. But just keep a positive attitude, and don't let this discourage you too much. And know that if you're doing the right things, your future is going to look bright no matter what.
Those are some awesome words to, go by these times. We all have to do what we can do. Focus on that.
What we can do.
You had a post just the other day about how you can use this time to improve yourself.
Yeah. Reading, trying to educate yourself more, exercising. For me, exercising is big. Anytime I'm feeling down, or if I'm feeling like, things aren't going exactly as planned, when I exercise, I feel so much better. There's certain things that we can control and certain things that we can't. So the things that you can control, like bettering yourself, looking at motivational videos, those things right there, that they help, and they go a long way. So
it's all. So we've talked about success a lot, and depends on who you talk to. Everybody kind of defines success as something different. How would you define success? Like, how did you know you're successful?
For me, it was when I was able to find my inner peace, right? Um, Being at peace with myself. That was success for me. Being happy with the person that I've become. Um, that's my success. Like it, I don't really get uh, out of I don't get out of character. I'm cool and I'm happy with the person that I've become, and just trying to be a better person every day. And for me, that's success.
You were every day you came in the gas station, you had a smile on your face, and you seemed like you were having a good day. So, I would agree with your that you have found that.
Yeah, yeah, and just it's amazing what when you find that inner peace, right? When you find peace with yourself, it's amazing how you feel. Um, for years, when I was younger, I had a very um, rough childhood, and I couldn't find that inner peace because I was always in rough environments and I was in places where it was hostile environments growing up in Chicago and things like that. So as I got older and I just started to find that inner peace and just being happy with the person that I am and that I am becoming, and trying to be a better person and trying to encourage and motivate people, I found success in that. I find success in making somebody else day a little bit better, or making people happy, or making people smile, or words of encouragement, and then just trying to be a better individual myself. Just knowing that yesterday was one day and today is another day, and now I'm gonna try to be a little bit better than I was yesterday. And that's where I find my success every day, trying to be a little bit better.
Each day is a new opportunity to be better.
That's it. That's it.
Sam, go ahead and ask your question. I'll read it off once it pops up.
Okay.
Go ahead, Sam. Give him a second.
Sure.
What kind of workouts do you do to lose that much weight? Because I'm kind of the dad bod. He's basically asking what type of workouts do you do?
Um, well, in the beginning, to lose that weight, I just kind of cut my calories down, and then I actually just started walking, right, um, and drinking water. That was the first 50 pounds in 3 months. But then, once I joined the gym, I started doing HIIT training, right, high intense interval training, and of course, I did it to the capacity that I can do it to. Um, so I'll hop on a treadmill and I'd walk as fast as I can for like a minute, right? And get my heart rate up. And then I'd bring my heart rate down, I'd slow it down. So I did a lot of HIIT training. And high intensity interval training is some of the best training to do. I did that for years. And I used everything as exercise. I tell people this story all the time. So before I was trying to get in shape, I'd go to the grocery store or I'd go anywhere and I try to get the closest spot, right? I'd wait for somebody to pull out of a spot so I can park the closest to the place I'm trying to go into. But once I started on this journey of trying to exercise and trying to get healthy, I would go and park way at the back of the lot, even if there's close spots. I would park way at the back of the lot and I would walk just to get those extra steps. Or in the house, I have to go upstairs one time to get something, but I make it exercise. So I go up 3 or 4 times just to get those extra steps. So I just applied um, everything I was doing throughout the day. I applied it to my life as exercise. So whatever I was doing, I just did it a couple more times, or I just made it a little bit more challenging for myself, so that I can make a whole day out of it.
And then also you hardly ever miss. You're consistent with your workouts too, right?
Yeah, I'm very, very, very consistent. I'm very consistent. Anybody who knows me, they'll tell you when the gym was open, I'm always there. Not only with my workouts, but with my eating too. I became very consistent with my eating too. week it's not going to be perfect, but then I jump right back on and I get back on track. But for the most part with the gym, I'm very consistent. I'm always there, you know, even when I'm tired, I'm there. When I'm happy, I'm there. When I'm sad, I'm there. I just was committed to changing my life, and that's what it has to be. It has to be a full-time commitment, you know.
Jenny was wondering, what is your Instagram handle? So students that wanted to follow you for this inspiration and that, what can they follow you at?
Yes, on Instagram it's Sin City Fit. It's SENCITYFIT.
And if you're all right with it, I can also put that on the class page so they can see that too, if you're all right with that.
Yep, that's fine. Definitely okay with that.
So if somebody wanted to start, you know, getting into fitness, you know, that's where you found kind of your center. We talked about high intensity interval training, so that's something they could look up. Mm-hmm. What's something else maybe they could look up to start down that road of if they wanted to have a healthier lifestyle? What are some of the things you would research?
I would say hydration is key. There's different exercises you can do. You can do of course, the high intensity training, but you can also do like more of a weightlifting resistance training, and that helps. Whatever you do, it depends. I guess it all depends on what the person is trying to do. If you're trying to, you know, just lose weight and things like that, or if you're trying to put on some muscle or whatever, it depends on what you're trying to do. But you can, it's a lot of different things you do. You do HIIT training, but you can also do like resistance training where you go in there and you do sets, right? So you do the 4 sets of 12, or you know, 4 sets of 8 heavy and things like that. So you can do pyramids and things like that. So.
But the best thing you can do is educate yourself, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of resources out there that they can look into.
100%. I think for that 9 months that I had lost the 200 pounds, I submerged myself in educating myself and figuring out how can I achieve what I was trying to achieve. So I would YouTube videos. You can look up YouTube tutorials. I would read and research how to lose weight safely and things like that. And so yeah, educating yourself, definitely. You definitely want to look up, and depending on what your goal is, but you definitely want to just kind of, everything's on the internet now, you know what I mean? Anything you figure out, or on YouTube, anything you want to figure out, you can just, YouTube it or read it and research it. Ask people questions on it, whatever your specific goal is, ask people questions on that. How do you achieve that? So, yeah.
Step one's getting started though, right? For anything. Getting started.
You definitely want to get started. And I tell that to my son all the time. We can talk about things, but that's not going to get the job done. It's good to plan, but once you have that plan, now it's time to attack. Now it's time to take action. If you just say what you want and you don't really apply it, then nothing's going to come of it. But if you know what you want and you say it and you plan it out, and then you start to put that into action, you'll be surprised how far you come. I remember I used to tell my brother when he would work out with me sometimes in the gym, and I was still at my heaviest. I would tell him, I can visualize. I said, bro, I tell my brother, I plan on getting to a certain weight, and I can visualize it. I can actually see it. I would look at myself in the mirror. I was still pretty heavy at the time, but I would look at myself in the mirror and say, I can visualize myself being where I'm at today. At that time, I was visualizing myself being 220 pounds and in pretty good shape, and pretty fit. So
visualization helps you get into that right mindset.
That's it.
It's a key I used in baseball a lot of times when I was in the on deck circle waiting, for my turn at bat. I was visualizing. I was seeing myself hit the ball in my head before I even got it in that batter spot, because now you're already in the mindset that I'm hitting. I'm not up there to swing. I'm up there to hit. You got to get in that right mindset. So visualization is a great asset you can use.
Yeah, it's almost like you put yourself in a zone. You're putting yourself in the mindset of, this is what needs to be done and this is what I'm going to do. So visualization is big on not only just fitness, but just on anything. You want to visualize. You want to see that this is what I'm trying to do, and I can see it.
So I want to be respectful of your time. I'm really thankful for all this. I have one last question. As long as nobody else has questions, I'm going to wait a second to see if anybody participating had any other questions before we start wrapping this up. So if anybody has questions, go ahead and type those into the chat right now. How did you start eating healthy, and what kind of food prep do you do now?
Well, when I started eating healthy, so I still kind of ate what I wanted to eat, but I just reduced what I ate, right? That was the first start. And then, because I didn't want to just jump right in. So I had to, okay, I'm going to just downsize on what I eat. And then after I downsized on what I eat, I started to clean it up a little bit. So if I go out with friends or family, instead of me getting a burger, I say, well, let me get a chicken sandwich. Or instead of me getting, and this was when sweet potato fries was big. Instead of me getting French fries, I say, let me get sweet potato fries. Or I'll have a salad, and so I just started to clean it up little by little. I didn't totally just jump right in. I ate what I wanted to eat, just less. And then I just started to take out the burger and replace it with chicken sandwich, or take out the French fries, replace it with sweet potatoes. And now how I eat is I eat pretty clean now. So I'm eating pretty lean protein, pretty lean protein. I'm eating my vegetables, and then I'm having a complex carb. And I'm eating 5-6 times a day now. So I'll meal prep. I'll have my breakfast in the morning, and then I'll take my meals with me so that throughout the day I can warm my meal up and eat and just stay on track. That way I don't make a bad decision while I'm out and about. So I do a lot of meal prepping now. Just it's chicken, fish, some steak, things like that. But the complex carb is more like I have some sweet potatoes. I'll have a lot of wheat, things like that. So
the next question is, on your journey to losing 200 pounds, you said you changed your physical habits and how you ate. What sort of positive mental health changes did you experience during your journey?
What sort of positive
mental health changes did you experience during your journey?
Yeah, so the positive mental health changes was I started to believe in myself a little bit more, right? I started to try to encourage myself a little bit more. And then as I started seeing the results, it helped with reinforcing those things. And I just started looking at life more optimistically, right? I was like, oh, I can do this, and I applied that in everything in my life. So this journey of me losing 200 pounds, the things that I've learned, I applied it in business. I apply it in my friendships, relationships, just being more optimistic about things.
Awesome. Well, the last question I have, we have one more. Besides your son and mother, is there anyone else who inspires you?
Yeah, so I have a 1-year-old now, so I have a new.
Oh, congrats! I didn't know about that.
Yeah. I have a 1-year-old now, so I have another reason why. But also my brother. My brother he's older. He's 5 years older than me, and he was always that big brother. I can always go to him, and he always encouraged me, and he always believed in me, and he always. My father wasn't around, so he was kind of like that go-to and that father figure for me. So yeah, that would be my brother. He inspires me a lot too. He's into music and things like that, but he actually got me. He seen me at my worst and was like, maybe you should just start trying to work out with me. Why don't you go to the gym with me? And at the time, I didn't want to go to the gym. So he was like, okay, well, let's go for a walk. So he kind of inspired me and kind of got me started. And so I'd say he put me on the bike and kind of taught me how to ride. And after that, I took the trainer wheels off, and now I'm riding pretty good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's any more. I'll wait a second, see if any more questions come in. We'll skip that one. So my last question for you is, if you could give your younger self 3 pieces of advice, what would you tell your younger self?
Ah, that's good. So, I would tell my younger self to uh, never quit, believe in yourself, and also that know that even if it's looking rough right now, the sun will always come back out. The sun will always shine. So it may look dark or it may look rough, but understand that the sun will shine again and things will get better. It always does, and that's life. It's not always going to be perfect, but it always gets better as long as you just don't give up on yourself. Never give up on yourself. Just um, even if you're the only one believing in you, believe in you because it can be done. You can do it.
Well, I really appreciate your time today, Seneca. You're a huge inspiration to all that can hear your story. You've inspired me to try to be better. So I really thank you for
Thank you for having me and reaching out to me. Also, this is pretty cool. I've never
yeah.
done anything like this, so it's pretty cool to do. I enjoy it.
I'm glad it worked.
Yeah, definitely.
This was an awesome experience. So I thank you all the students I was able to watch. Hopefully you've had a decent first week of distance learning.
Yeah.
Enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to everyone back on Monday morning.
And stay encouraged and stay inspired and believe and know that things do get better. So.
Well, thank you again, Seneca.
Hey, thank you.
I gotta figure out technology now.